The doors are closing. Train departing. Please hold on.
Welcome to MAX101. Yes, another video on signals. Yay! So if we didn't have enough videos on signals already. Today we'll be covering the C signal and the repeater signals. So let's start off with the C signal. Well, it basically just describes itself. So the signal itself literally just displays the letter C, and that's it. It just stands for called. It lets you know that your call went through. Now, if there's only one of these that's normally used. There's just a single one, and it's at Skidmore Fountain, westbound. When you place a call for your preempt signal, you press the button, and then a few seconds later what should happen is your signal should change. If you don't know how preempt signals work, then a card should have already appeared up there. You can go check that out. But at Skidmore Fountain, because of the way Burnside Street makes Portland kind of go at this weird angle, the actual preempt signal is kind of on a corner, so it's really hard to see. So because of the low visibility, they put a C signal up to say that your call went through and that you can pull the train forward. And by the time you get to that signal, it should have changed to white vertical. So this is the Skidmore Fountain westbound. This is the blue line video that TriMet posted. Now, if you watch one of these posts here, you'll see the C light turn on. There, do you see it? And as we pull up to it, you can't really tell because this video is playing really low quality. There, you can clearly, I think, tell that that is displaying a letter C. But you don't see a preempt signal. And as we keep going, you'll see just how hard that preempt is to spot. Because you can tell, I think, this video is playing really low quality. But you see how the tracks take a right-hand curve there? That's the preempt, I believe. Actually, you know what? I'm not really sure where the preempt is, to be fully honest with you, but it's somewhere there, and it's really hard to spot because of that curve. Fun fact, there is another C signal that can be spotted in the old 11th Avenue turnaround. For trains that are in there, they can use the C signal to let them know that the signal's been called, because again, because of the turnaround tracks, the actual signal is hard to spot. So, same kind of deal. But that one's not really used because the 11th Avenue turnaround is not used. There's even an even funner fact. There was even a third one of these as well, but it's been long since gone. If you were in Portland 20 or more years ago, then maybe you would have been able to spot it, but it was at the Library Southwest 9th Avenue station. There's another kind of signal also used in low visibility areas. When an ABS signal is placed around a corner of some kind or is otherwise hard to spot, then a repeater will be used. This has nothing to do with Minecraft or Redstone or anything like that, but the signal itself is pretty self-explanatory. It repeats the signal right in front of it. It repeats the signal right in front of it. That was a bad joke. If the repeater signal is red, you can still pass it, because there's no magnet at a repeater signal. You can pass it, but at a slow crawl up to the actual signal that it's displaying. So again, the repeater signal and the actual signal after it that may be hard to spot, maybe it's on a corner, they are linked together to display the exact same aspects. If the repeater is yellow, the actual signal is yellow. If the signal is red, then the repeater will be red. They are directly linked together. So how do you know if what you're looking at is a repeater signal? The signal number will be followed by the letter R. So you remember how I talked about signal numbers? If you don't, then there you go. But the signal numbers, it's either just a number or it's a letter and a numbers. But yeah, the letter's at the beginning. For a repeater signal, it will have the letter R after the signal number. A good example of this is signal 34. This is a signal on the Banfield Freeway. Now, that freeway is quite windy and the tracks just go alongside it, and so there's a signal 34, but it's placed right on the corner. And so right before it, you'll have signal 34R. That will be displaying the exact same aspects. Here's the green line video. This is going back to Clackamas, and this is on the Banfield Freeway. The freeway's over there. Now, take a look. That there is signal 34R. That's the repeater signal. You could even see it. It said 34R. Take a look at where the actual signal is, signal 34. It's right there on the corner like that. So it's hard to tell until you're actually there. So they put the signal right before the corner, right before the corner so that you can actually tell what the signal is showing instead of coming around the corner at 45, 50 miles an hour and realizing too late that it's displaying a red signal. Now sometimes preempt signals will also have repeaters. So there will be two preempt signals that will display the same thing. And really that's just more or less preference. If you're sitting at a station and you press the call button, just pick one to look at and it'll be there. Usually one of them will be a lot closer than the other one. And so I'm not really sure because I've never driven the trains and I'm not really sure, but I would assume some of those preempt signals are really close to the train, and so you have to really be looking at it kind of weird, and so it might be better to look at the one further away. And so there will be two distant ones like that you'll watch them, they'll blink at the exact same time and change to white vertical at the same time. So yeah, especially like because I'm familiar with downtown Hillsboro, Washington Street has them on both sides. So there will be a preempt if you look on the left side of Washington Street, or there will be one on the right side. And pretty much all the way down, there's signals on both sides that display the same thing. So Washington Street is full of repeater signals that are preempt. For now, I'm pretty sure that covers every kind of signal. There are some special cases that we might talk about in the future, but for now, I believe I have covered all the types of signals used on the system. If you'd like to watch the entire signal thing, episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8 all have signal stuff in them, as well as bonus episodes for each. I did talk about dwarf signals on episode 27 if you want to watch that too. And yeah, so if you're going signal crazy, then there you go. If you're sick of signals, then that's probably good news for you. And we'll see you on the next one with something that has nothing to do with signals. And I'll see you on the next one.